And we're back to learning Photoshop in here, day 356. Let me show the lens blur. Copy the original here, press Ctrl J. Let me rename that to blur, and we go to filter, blur, and use the lens blur. Looks a little bit intimidating, but I'm going to show you what all of these functions are for. First up, make sure preview is checked, and you can have a more accurate display or a faster one. If your file size, your image is pretty big, I would recommend using faster, especially when your PC is a bit slower. Let's ignore the depth map for now, and we'll focus on the other functions below. First up, we have a distribution. You can use uniform or Gaussian, and then monochromatic. I think that's self-explanatory. We've got the typical noise, and in general, the lens blur simulates the typical camera depth of field. So when you're a little bit familiar with photography, you know that noises are kind of like a side product. And depending on how you set the exposure triangle, there will be more or less. And in simple terms, noise are just a grain that will be added to your photos, and you can do that here manually. Sometimes you want noise for aesthetic reasons. You can add it here with a simple slider called amount. I've got the specular highlights above. There's brightness and threshold, and you have to balance these two out a little bit. So if you just increase the brightness, you will not really see an impact, but when you then go down with the threshold, you can see the effect. And in simple terms, this affects the bright spots of your image, and brightness sets how intense these highlights will become. And the threshold, this sets which of these pixels will be seen as highlights. Above, we've got the iris, and maybe we can see that best if I increase the radius a little bit. We have different shape options. So this is actually then a polygon that's created, that's generated. So we'll start at triangles, and it goes up to octagons, and you can select everything in between. As you've just seen, the radius, this is then basically the size. So it controls the strength of the blur, and that's kind of like the equivalent to the aperture in a camera. So if you use an f-stop of 1.8, there would be a very blurry background. Therefore, this is a higher radius, and an f-stop of 8 would be a subtle blur. Therefore, a low radius. We've got the curvature. This is simply how rounded or how sharp the shape, so the polygon outline is. And then we have the rotation. You can go from 0 to 360 degrees and rotate these polygons. Let's get back to the depth map. We have three options here: none, transparency, and layer mask. And this actually, you could call it the core of this lens blur filter. Most important here is the slider for blur focal distance. This determines which depth level stays sharp, but you can also do that manually by using the icon next to set focal point and then left clicking on your image. This will then set the blur focal distance automatically according to the pixel that you've clicked on. Let's say here the fruit that the kids are picking. Let me just left click while the icon is active, and you can see this very sharp now. And everything that's further away from this fruit will be blurred out. You can see that in background. Once you've got what you want, don't forget to confirm via OK. And these are the basics of using the lens blur in Photoshop. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.